When I walked in, Tessie just looked at me and she said, "He killed my girls." And I said, "I know," and we both cried.
Did she tell you why he killed them?
Because they were dating these boyfriends, and Yasser had found out about it and was mad about it.
Yasser, police say, shot his 18-year-old daughter Amina twice and riddled 17-year-old Sarah with 9 bullets as she was calling 911. And then Yasser Saeed vanished. How could he escape without help? And where could he go?
Coming up, in search of Yasser Saeed.
Do you know where your brother is?
Get the out of here.
But first, she recently survived what police say was an attempted honor killing. Her brother stabbing her 11 times. Stay tuned for her incredible story. Next. Welcome back to our Fox News investigation, Murder in the Family, Honor Killings in America. St. Louis, Missouri. At the Circuit Attorney's Office, there's a storage area full of evidence of an honor killing that took place nearly 20 years ago. Crime scene photos, bloodied clothes, the 9-inch knife used, and an old-fashioned reel-to-reel tape. Parents murdering their own 16-year-old daughter. And unbeknownst to them, their crime recorded from beginning to end on a hidden microphone placed in their apartment by the FBI. The feds were investigating the father, Zain Issa, a member of a Palestinian terror cell controlled by notorious terrorist Abu Nidal. Also living in the apartment, Issa's Brazilian wife, Maria, and the youngest of their 3 daughters, 16-year-old Palestina. Tina was a high school honor student, but her parents were furious that Tina had a black boyfriend. She went to a school dance and got a job at Wendy's. Tina's first night at work was the last night of her life. November 5th, 1989. The tape begins with an argument and Tina starts screaming. Her father says, "Keep still, Tina." Tina pleads, "Mother, please help me." Her mother responds, "Shut up." In fact, her mother was holding her down, Issa plunging a 9-inch kitchen knife into his daughter's chest. Tina continues screaming for several minutes, giving way, finally, to a quiet moan. Her father, exhausted, then utters these words, "Quiet, little one. Die, my daughter. Die." Issa's plan was to claim self-defense, that Tina attacked him first. The jury didn't buy it and sent both mom and dad to death row. But Tina's own sisters would later say she was a bad daughter who deserved to die.
I only cry for my parents. She was very disobedient. This is a girl that she always had everything she needed and wanted. She had loving parents, caring and loving parents. She had anything she always wanted.
Federal prosecutors would later allege an additional motive for the murder. The terror cell pressured Issa to kill Tina because they feared she would rat them out. That was never proven in court. But former CIA operative Mike Baker, who is now a counterterrorism specialist, says no one should be shocked when an honor killer turns out to be a terrorist, too.
Same person who can justify killing their daughter, or killing their wife in an honor killing, is probably, in all likelihood, carrying the same mindset that Al-Qaeda would look for in some young fellow or someone to go strap on a bomb and blow themselves up in a market.
Baker says not all Muslim men who commit honor killings are international terrorists. Obviously, they are not. But in recent years and even months, an alarming number of these crimes have been committed here in America by Muslims with a pretty radical mindset, at least when it comes to how women should be treated. So is there a connection between honor killings and the spread of Islamic extremism? Coming up, one victim's perspective. A 19-year-old Muslim woman who barely survived what police say was an attempted honor killing by her own brother. She tells her story right after the break. Welcome back. I'm Megyn Kelly. As you heard tonight, honor killing is happening around the world, and more it is hitting very close to home right here in America. You've heard Muslim leaders insist the crime violates Islam's tenets. In Rochester, New York, one Muslim man apparently did not get that message and brutally stabbed his 19-year-old sister. She survived and talked to Lauren Green. She asked us to hide her face because she fears she may be harmed again for telling her story of survival.
I was born in Afghanistan, raised in Pakistan, moved to America in 2002. So I basically grew up here.
Miriam, that's not her real name, is 19 years old, beautiful and smart. She speaks 4 languages. She describes herself as a devoted Muslim, but also typically American. And less than 2 months ago, she survived what sheriffs in Rochester, New York call an attempted honor killing. Miriam's mother moved with her and her sisters to America after Miriam's father died. Her brothers stayed and took over the family business in Pakistan. Within a few years, Miriam was more American than a product of her native Afghan culture. And that's what her brother Wahid discovered when he rejoined the family in 2005 near Rochester, New York.
Did you feel any tension with your family because you were adapting to an American culture?
Oh, definitely, yeah, definitely.
How so?
For example, going to the movies or like going shopping to the mall with my girlfriends.
So when you would try to go to the mall or do that kind of thing,
yeah,
what would
or
happen?
even work, or even go to find a job. It was a problem for them because they always told me that, well, you don't need to work, you're too young, just concentrate on your studies.
But Miriam's studies got to be a problem too. She won a full scholarship to a 4-year college, including room and board, on campus.
I thought that everybody's going to be happy for me. I'm just so excited. Everybody came home from work. I showed it to them. There was no smile on his face. He just looked at me. He goes like, so? That doesn't mean anything.
And you had a full scholarship.
Exactly. If it was just a typical American teenage, the parents would have been like so proud of them. But when it came to my family and my brother, it was a shame instead of them being proud of me. Do you know what I mean?
A shame?
Yeah. To him it was.
Why would it be a shame that your daughter gets a full, or your brother, your sister gets a full scholarship to
Because he thought that if I moved on campus, people, Afghani community would talk about our family, how, oh my gosh, she's totally going to become like Americanized, she's going to forget about Afghani culture, she's going to be a different person, one day she's going to bring a shame to the family, you know.
She did go away to school. And though she wasn't too far from home, she was coming home less and less, and also feeling less and less comfortable when she was there.
When I was at home, like, oh my God, I have to be careful that my leg doesn't show. I have to be careful that, you know, I don't have low neck, you know, like stuff like that.
Miriam hopes one day to work at the United Nations, and last summer started visiting friends in New York City with dreams of moving there.
Now, New York is a big city. And many mothers and brothers would worry about a teenage daughter or sister coming here alone. But in this case, it seems fair to say, the concern was not for Miriam's physical safety, but for the Mohammed family's honor. Sheriff's investigators say Mrs. Mohammed asked Wahid to stop Miriam from coming, and Wahid did just that.
Wahid, we believe, made it his mission to prevent this trip from occurring, and took it upon himself to take action.
And that action was what?
He stabbed her multiple times.
Sheriff's investigator Patrick Crow says Wahid confronted his sister about her New York trip in front of the family home.
Where on her body did he stab her?
All over.
All over?
All over.
When she was being stabbed, were there other family members around?
Yes.
Her mother was there, right?
Yes.
What was her mother doing?
I'm going to refrain from answering that due to the trial.
When he was actually, you know, attacking you, what was going through your mind?
I seriously thought that I was gonna die.
Neighbors witnessing the attack called 911, but before the ambulance arrived, sources close to the investigation tell us, Wahid then told his sister he would take her to the hospital if she promised to say he didn't stab her. Wahid put Miriam in the car and took off, stopping along the way to toss the bloody knife into a pond. Sheriff's deputies caught up to them at this intersection just a few miles from the house. Wahid was detained while his fading sister was transferred into an ambulance.
Did Wahid ever tell you that his intention was to kill his sister?
Well, that's something I can't comment on now because the case is still pending. I will say it's my belief that he intended to kill her.
Could she have died from those stab wounds?
Absolutely.
He doesn't even have any real memory of it happening.
John Bradley is the attorney for Wahid Mohammed, who has pleaded not guilty. Bradley doesn't dispute that Wahid attacked his sister, but says Wahid just doesn't remember.
He can recount to me what happened right up until they were arguing, but best I can tell, he really doesn't have any memory of this actual incident happening.
Doesn't that sound like a convenient excuse? I just don't remember.
Well, not remembering is not an excuse under the law, but given his history and the things that he's gone through, it's not that